Bridge of Wisdom. Tales from the Valley of Tranquility. In a secluded corner of the world, where mist perpetually danced over lush meadows, there lay a serene valley. This valley, untouched by the hustle of distant cities and the clamor of faraway towns, was a canvas of nature's profound tranquility. It was in this very valley that a quaint stone bridge arched gracefully over a meandering river. The bridge, with its moss-covered stones and ivy-clad balustrades, seemed more a natural formation than a man-made structure, as if it had grown from the earth itself. The river beneath whispered secrets of ancient times as it flowed gently, its waters clear as crystal, reflecting the sky above. On sunny days, the water sparkled like a myriad of tiny diamonds, and when the rain fell, it did so with a soothing rhythm, harmonizing with the river's song. The banks of the river were lush with greenery, home to delicate wildflowers that swayed in the light breeze, their colors a testament to the valley's hidden wonders. Nestled under the arch of the bridge, almost as ancient as the stones themselves, lived an old, wise bridge troll. Unlike the fearsome creatures of lore, this troll named Thelonious bore a demeanor of quiet contemplation and gentle wisdom. His skin, textured like the bark of an old oak tree, blended seamlessly with the bridge, and his eyes, deep and thoughtful, mirrored the calm waters he gazed upon day after day. Thelonious had watched centuries pass from his solitary abode. He had seen the seasons change 1,000 times, each bringing its own palette and chorus to the valley. In the spring, the air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms and the joyful chirping of birds. Summer brought a warmth that bathed the valley in a golden hue, while autumn adorned the trees in vibrant reds and yellows, leaves twirling down to the river like playful spirits. Winter covered the landscape in a blanket of silence, the snow softly enveloping everything in a peaceful slumber. Throughout these cycles, Thelonious remained a silent guardian of the bridge, a keeper of stories and a watcher of time. His life was a tapestry, woven with countless tales, each thread a story of the travelers who had crossed the bridge. But unlike the fabled trolls who demanded tolls or posed riddles, Thelonious sought only conversation, a shared moment of reflection in the rush of life. The troll's voice, when he chose to speak, was as soothing as the river's flow, rich and deep. He spoke rarely, but each word was imbued with the wisdom of ages, each sentence a gentle nudge towards introspection. Thelonious had an aura of calm about him, a quiet strength that seemed to emanate from the very stones of the bridge. At dawn, when the first light of day gently nudged the darkness away, Thelonious would often climb atop his bridge to watch the valley awaken. The mist, like a delicate veil, would lift slowly, revealing the lush greenery and the sparkling river. Birds, heralds of the morning, sang melodies that resonated through the valley, greeting the new day. As the sun rose higher, its rays piercing through the leaves, creating patterns of light and shadow on the ground, the troll would return to his spot under the bridge. There, in the cool shade, he would sit, listening to the sounds of the world around him, the rustling of leaves, the gentle lapping of water against the riverbank, and the distant calls of animals. The bridge and Thelonious had become an integral part of the valley, as much a fixture of the landscape as the hills and the river. They stood as silent witnesses to the passage of time, to the fleeting moments of life that like the river's waters, flowed ceaselessly onwards. In this haven of peace, where time seemed to linger lovingly over every leaf and stone, the old troll continued his eternal vigil, a sentinel of serenity in a world that moved ever forward. As the seasons unfurled their tapestry over the valley, the ancient stone bridge began to witness a new kind of traveler. Knights from distant lands, clad in armor that glinted in the sun, their banners fluttering like whispers of distant dreams. These knights, each on a quest for glory and adventure, sought to cross the bridge, drawn by tales of a land filled with wonders and challenges beyond. Thelonious, the old bridge troll, watched with a mix of curiosity and apprehension as these figures approached. For centuries, his interactions had been with humble travelers, merchants, and the occasional weary wanderer seeking solace. The knights, with their clanking armor and determined strides, were a stark contrast to the usual peace of the valley. Yet, as each knight arrived at the bridge, Thelonious greeted them, not with hostility, but with a gentle inquisitiveness. His deep, resonant voice, echoing slightly under the arch of the bridge, would ask of their quests, their dreams, and what they sought in their pursuit of glory. The knights, taken aback by the troll's calm demeanor and wise words, often found themselves pausing, engaging in conversation instead of the expected confrontation. One such knight, Sir Emric, clad in armor adorned with the emblem of a soaring eagle, halted his horse upon reaching the bridge. Expecting a challenge or a demand, he was surprised when Thelonious simply asked, "What drives a knight so bold to seek the paths less trodden?" Sir Emric, dismounting from his steed, spoke of a legendary beast he sought, a creature said to reside in the uncharted depths of the forest beyond. Thelonious listened intently, nodding slowly. Then, in his ruminative way, he spoke of the beauty of the forest, the ancient trees that whispered secrets, and the creatures that lived not in legend, but in the quiet harmony of nature. As they talked, the river's gentle song accompanied their dialogue, the sun casting dappled shadows around them. Sir Emric, who had set out with visions of battle and glory, found himself entranced by the troll's descriptions of the natural world, so different from the courts and battlefields he knew. In the days that followed, more knights came, each with their own tales of quests and dreams. A knight named Lady Eleanor sought a lost heirloom, rumored to be hidden in the mountains. Another, Sir Gareth, was on a pilgrimage to a sacred site, believing it would grant him strength in battle. To each, Thelonious offered his wisdom, speaking of the stars that guided travelers by night, the rivers that carved paths through the mightiest mountains, and the silent wisdom of the ancient trees. He talked of the beauty that lay in the journey, not just the destination, and the lessons that patience and observation could teach. The knights, accustomed to a life of action and combat, found themselves captivated by the troll's perspective. The bridge, once merely a crossing point, became a place of reflection. The clash of steel and the thunder of hooves gave way to quiet conversations and contemplative silences. Even as they spoke of their quests, the knights began to look at the world around them through new eyes. The flutter of a butterfly's wings, the rustle of leaves in the wind, and the play of light on the water's surface took on new significance. The valley, with its timeless beauty and the troll's gentle guidance, offered them a glimpse into a world beyond the one they knew, one not of conquest and glory, but of wonder and quiet understanding. Thelonious, with each conversation, felt a change in the air. The presence of these knights, initially a disruption to his solitude, became an opportunity to share the wisdom he had gathered over the centuries. He realized that even in his desire for peace, there was room for connection, for imparting the lessons of the valley to those who had only known the world of men and their wars. As the sun set each day, casting a golden glow over the valley, the knights would set camp near the bridge. The nights were filled with the soft sounds of the river, the crackling of fires, and the low murmur of voices sharing stories under the starlit sky. The bridge, once a solitary guardian of the valley, now bore witness to a meeting of worlds, where the quest for glory slowly began to intertwine with the pursuit of wisdom. In the heart of a moonlit night, when the valley was steeped in a serene quietude, a new figure approached the bridge. He was a young knight known as Sir Rowan, his armor polished to a mirror sheen, his cloak billowing like a dark cloud behind him. His eyes, bright with the fire of youth and ambition, were fixed on the bridge and the lands that lay beyond. Sir Rowan was on a quest for a legendary artifact, one that was said to grant immense power to whoever possessed it. As he neared the bridge, Sir Rowan's horse neighed softly, its breath visible in the cool night air. The knight's hand rested on the hilt of his sword, ready for any challenge that might arise. He had heard tales of Thelonious, the wise bridge troll, and was determined not to be swayed from his path. Upon reaching the bridge, Sir Rowan called out boldly, his voice echoing in the stillness. "I seek passage over this bridge, and I will not be hindered. Stand aside, creature of old, for my quest waits for no one." Thelonious, who had been listening to the gentle flow of the river, looked up calmly at the young knight. His eyes, reflecting the moonlight, held no malice, only a deep, abiding wisdom. "Brave knight," he began, his voice as steady as the earth itself, "I seek not to hinder, but to enlighten. Before you rush towards your destiny, might you spare a moment to hear the tales of old?" Sir Rowan, taken aback by the troll's lack of defiance, hesitated. His grip on his sword loosened slightly, curiosity flickering in his eyes. Thelonious, sensing the opening, began to speak of times long past, when the world was young and mysteries abounded. He told tales of ancient civilizations that had once flourished under starry skies, their knowledge of the cosmos far surpassing what was known now. He spoke of constellations that told stories of heroes and gods, of celestial events that marked the passage of time and the unfolding of the universe. As Thelonious spoke, the stars above seemed to shine brighter, each one a testament to the wonders he described. Sir Rowan found himself captivated, his quest momentarily forgotten as he listened to the troll's deep, resonant voice. The troll then spoke of the wonders of nature, of forests that breathed with life, of mountains that whispered secrets of the earth. He described the intricate dance of ecosystems, where every creature played a role in the grand symphony of life. He talked of rivers that carved canyons over millennia, of oceans that cradled the mysteries of the deep. Sir Rowan, whose life had been filled with the pursuit of glory and power, felt a stirring within him, a sense of awe at the world that lay beyond the battlefield. The tales of peace and knowledge, of harmony with the world, began to sow seeds of doubt about the path he had chosen. Thelonious, noticing the change in the young knight, spoke softly of the value of seeking understanding and peace. "True strength," he said, "lies not in conquest, but in the wisdom to see the beauty in all things, to understand that every living being is a thread in the tapestry of this world." The night grew deeper as they talked, the moon tracing its path across the sky. The valley around them was bathed in a silver glow, the river reflecting the light like a stream of molten moonbeams. Sir Rowan, no longer the headstrong knight who had approached the bridge, sat in thoughtful silence, pondering the words of the old troll. The climax of the tale was not a clash of swords or a battle of wills, but a meeting of minds, a moment where the fire of youth met the calm of age-old wisdom. In that tranquil night, under the watchful gaze of the stars, the young knight began to see the world not as a battlefield for glory, but as a place of endless wonders to be understood and cherished. In the days that followed their moonlit conversation, Sir Rowan, the young and once impetuous knight, found himself drawn into a world he had never known. Each morning, as the first rays of the sun painted the valley in hues of gold and amber, he would join Thelonious at the bridge, his armor laid aside, his demeanor one of a student rather than a warrior. Thelonious, with the patience of the ages, began to impart his vast knowledge to the young knight. They would start their days by observing the sky as dawn broke, the troll explaining the movements of the celestial bodies, the myths woven into the tapestry of stars above them. Sir Rowan listened, his mind opening to the vastness of the universe, his quest for glory seeming ever more distant with each passing story. As the sun climbed higher, they would explore the valley, Thelonious pointing out the delicate balance of nature. He showed Sir Rowan the intricate patterns of leaves, the way the trees communicated through a network hidden beneath the ground, and the dance of the river with the land. He spoke of the creatures that inhabited the valley, each playing a crucial role in the harmony of the ecosystem. Sir Rowan, who had once seen the world in terms of conquests and battles, began to see it through the lens of wonder and curiosity. He learned to identify the songs of different birds, to understand the language of the wind as it rustled through the leaves, and to feel the pulse of the earth beneath his feet. The other knights, observing the transformation in Sir Rowan, grew curious. One by one they approached Thelonious, their swords and shields gradually replaced by quills and parchment, eager to learn from the wise troll. The camp near the bridge, once filled with tales of valor and combat, now echoed with discussions about philosophy, the natural world, and the stars. Lady Alidor, the knight who had sought a lost heirloom, began to study the plants and herbs of the valley, fascinated by their healing properties. Sir Gareth, who had been on a pilgrimage for strength, found a deeper kind of fortitude in understanding the enduring patience of the mountains and the ceaseless journey of the river. Evenings at the camp transformed into gatherings of learning and reflection. Knights who had been rivals on the battlefield now sat together in rapt attention as Thelonious shared tales of ancient civilizations, of empires that had risen and fallen, leaving behind legacies of knowledge and wisdom. As the moon took its place in the night sky, the knights would sit around the fire, the flames casting a warm glow on their thoughtful faces. They shared their own stories, not of battles and conquests, but of homes and families, of dreams and aspirations that extended beyond the glory of the battlefield. Thelonious, once a solitary figure content in his silent watch over the bridge, found a new purpose in imparting his wisdom to these seekers of knowledge. He saw in their eyes the same spark of curiosity that had driven him through the centuries, a desire to understand the world and their place in it. The valley, with its undisturbed beauty, and the ancient bridge became a sanctuary not just for Thelonious and the knights, but for anyone who sought a deeper understanding of the world. The bridge, once a mere crossing over a river, now stood as a symbol of the bridge between knowledge and ignorance, war and peace, youth and wisdom. As days turned into weeks, the pursuit of glory that had brought the knights to the valley slowly gave way to a pursuit of enlightenment. They came to realize that true strength lay not in the sword and shield, but in the mind and heart. In the ability to see the world not as a battlefield, but as a place of wonder and endless learning. As the seasons cycled through their endless dance, the valley, with its ancient stone bridge and flowing river, transformed into a hallowed place of wisdom and tranquility. The bridge, which had once been a mere crossing from one land to another, now stood as a sacred threshold, a gateway to enlightenment and introspection. It became a symbol of the journey from ignorance to knowledge, from conflict to peace. Thelonious, the old bridge troll, once a solitary guardian of this quiet corner of the world, emerged as a sage revered not only by the knights, but by many who heard of the valley and its newfound purpose. Travelers from distant lands, scholars seeking ancient wisdom, and even villagers from nearby towns began to make pilgrimages to the bridge, drawn by the promise of understanding and the allure of the peaceful valley. The troll shared his knowledge generously, his words imbued with the depth of centuries and the clarity of the river that flowed beneath the bridge. His teachings were not of magic and myth, but of the magic inherent in the natural world, the myths that held truths about the human condition. He spoke of the stars and their stories, the secrets of the earth, and the delicate balance of nature weaving a tapestry of wisdom that connected the cosmos, the earth, and the heart. Sir Rowan, the young knight whose quest for glory had brought him to the bridge, became Thelonious's most devoted pupil. He laid down his sword and shield, taking up the mantle of a scholar. Under Thelonious's guidance, he learned to read the language of the stars, to understand the silent speech of the trees, and to find strength in knowledge and compassion. Lady Eleanor, Sir Gareth, and the other knights, too, found new paths in their lives. They became guardians of the valley, not through force of arms, but through their dedication to preserving its peace and beauty. They shared their own learnings, contributing to the growing repository of knowledge that the bridge symbolized. The valley itself remained a tranquil haven, its beauty untouched by the passage of time. The river continued its gentle flow, a soothing melody that underscored the quiet conversations and reflective silences of those who visited. The trees, the birds, and the wind seemed to resonate with the newfound purpose of the bridge, adding their voices to the chorus of learning and peace. As years passed, tales of the bridge and its wise troll spread far and wide. The story of a place where swords were exchanged for books, where armor was set aside for the pursuit of wisdom, became a legend in its own right. The bridge was no longer a checkpoint on a journey of conquest, but a destination for those seeking a deeper understanding of themselves and of the world. The nights at the bridge were filled with the soft glow of lanterns and the warmth of shared stories. The fire's crackle was accompanied by the low hum of thoughtful discussions, the sharing of ideas and experiences, and the quiet laughter of camaraderie. Thelonious, with his ancient eyes and gentle smile, watched over it all, a contented guardian of this sanctuary of peace. He had seen the transformation of not only the knights, but of every soul that crossed the bridge, each leaving a little wiser, a little more at peace. In time, the bridge in the valley became a timeless emblem of the journey, from youthful ambition to the serene wisdom of age. The troll, once a mere myth, became a symbol of the enduring power of knowledge and the quiet strength of nature. And so, the valley continued to echo with the gentle sounds of the river, the whispering trees, and the soft conversations of those who came seeking wisdom. The bridge, under Thelonious's watchful eye, remained a beacon of tranquility and enlightenment, a testament to the idea that the greatest journeys are those that take us not only across lands, but also into the depths of our own minds and hearts. In this serene haven, the quest for glory gave way to the pursuit of understanding, and the clashing of swords was replaced by the harmony of shared knowledge and peaceful reflection. This was The Bridge of Wisdom, Tales from the Valley of Tranquility, by Mike Thacker with ChatGPT 4.